What should you do with the extra money that you don't need in retirement to live day to day? Well, this is actually a topic that we cover in one of our workshops, and I want to share with you our kind of philosophy with that. Now, to understand what I mean by extra money, you kind of have to understand what we're talking about in the other buckets first. So, normally, what we do is kind of cover what people need for their safety, just like what happens if emergencies come up, and then we help design what they're going to need to create income confidence, to know that they're going to have a check in retirement that will last as long as they need to grow with inflation. Those are the first two buckets. For a lot of our clients, once they've filled that, once they've kind of solved that problem, there's actually extra money at the end. And so a question that comes up from time to time is, what should I do with that? Not necessarily where should it go, like not how should I spend it, but how should that be invested, and should it be different than what we have in the other two buckets? And here's kind of one of the magic things that happens when you start to think about them as having different jobs along the way. Most people will go through their investment experience kind of being comfortable with a lot of volatility, a high mix of stocks as they're in their earning years, because their paycheck is coming from their job. And so if it's up and down, it doesn't matter. Then they'll think about tamping that volatility down as they get into retirement. So instead of being like in an 80-20, they would change to like a 50-50. One of the things that bucketing allows us to do is actually maintain a higher equity composure of what their composition in that extra money account, specifically because the time horizon for that, the use of that money, is more similar to what people were doing when they were working than what they need in retirement. So starting to break off pieces. Let's say you got a big chunk off of it, I don't know, maybe $1.5 million. Breaking off pieces of it that are now used for safety and income, and knowing that the remaining amount as isn't needed for those purposes now allows you to maintain a similar investment strategy as what you had during your accumulation years, often a higher equity mix, often structured for more growth along the way. And that is often a very liberating thing, because you can look at that account and go, I don't actually care what it's doing day to day. My projections on that are 5, 10, 15, or 20 years down the road, kind of what they were when you were working. If this is a topic that you like and you're interested in learning more, we actually have an entire video that is a workshop that we do for the public, and we have that available for you absolutely for free. All you got to do is follow the link, whatever we got here, and then you can get registered for it, and we'll send it right over, and you can learn all the topics that I have to talk about.